Cock that motherfucker back, Kiwi. Cock that motherfucker back, Kiwi. Cock that motherfucker back, Kiwi.
Woohoo! Did y'all hear that Nas in that background? I love some Nas. Cock that motherfucker back. Excuse my language. But I had to say, what's up, everybody? What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? Y'all see my hair? Y'all see my haircut? Do y'all see the haircut? I ain't saying it's banging, but hey, I got the fresh cut. Usually I go with the hat, but I had to, show that fresh haircut. You know what I'm saying? Because I was looking like I was looking like Teen Wolf. For real. Like I was looking crazy with my hair. Ask Boo thing, she know. I was looking straight up crazy. But that's all right. I got a cut, and I got a cut in honor of that big cut of the 53 man cuts. We had a lot of cuts that we didn't like. Well, I didn't like some cuts out there. So it's kind of crazy how it happened. We're gonna go through a lot of some stuff, not a lot of stuff, but we're gonna go through some stuff today. Some stuff that everybody's wondering about, that offensive lineman, only 5 receivers, Connor McGovern, Ezekiel Elliott. What's going on? So we're gonna talk about it right now. But let me give a huge shout out to everybody that's jumped in the show right now. Is it Huggy Paco effect? Pacino effect? I don't know if that's the right name, but what's up with you? I appreciate you. James Nooks, Germ Head, what's up? Stephen Arthur, as usual, Boo Thing, of course. Bleeding Blue, what's up with you? Marvin Hargrove, how you doing? Oh, yeah, you got the haircut too? That's what's good. Now we got 2 haircut guys in the building. Jay Outlaw Perez, what's good with you? Kyle Moats, Texas Twister, Christine Evans, I believe. Let's go. Call your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your everybody. Get them all up in here so we can talk some Cowboys football, y'all. Are y'all excited? That's what I want to know. Are y'all excited about this season? Because it's finally here. We're done with that preseason. We're done with all that extra nothing that counts. Now it's here. Now it's finally here. Now the regular season. Now all that talk is done. It's finally here. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm super dumb excited because I'm excited about what this team can do and the possibilities of the team, especially if one person gets here by the number 21, Zeke Elliott. If he gets back in the fold, at the right appointed time, then I think we are really going to run through and mash some people. I'm still sticking by my prediction of 12-4 this season. I'm not going to run away from it just because we had a few things going on with Ezekiel Elliott. I'm still staying true to that. I think we are a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I think a lot of people are going to see that as well. So once again, shout out to everybody. What's up with your Law Nation? How do you do? Make sure you tune in this Tuesday. Me and Law Nation are going live on the Cowboys Experience. Make sure you check out the Cowboys Experience. If you're still trying to get to a game, if you're still trying to find out a great experience, see a game like no other, you need to check out the Cowboys Experience in Bear Griffith. They're second to none. Packages are very affordable, and we can get you those still right now. So please get in my inbox, Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation, or you can holler at Law Nation as well. We're all trying to get these packages out to you, so you definitely want to try to get out and see it, because I'm telling you, that Cowboys experience one of those games, if you've never been to one, is like no other. So without further ado, let's jump in here and let's talk about it. So I'm going to pull up some things right now. Then we're going to talk about, the list and what's going to happen, because I still think some things are going on. I think there's still can be some claims done by noontime. We have like 7 guys that they wanted to sign to the practice squad. I believe there's a few more. I wonder what's going to happen with Mike White, that Taryn Christian kid. I think he's going to replace Mike White. I think they might be done with him. But we're going to jump through this roster thing and kind of go through it. But a shout out to everybody that's up in here right now once again. So let's get on with this business for real. All right, so I don't know if you can see it real clearly, but I just switched to it right now, and that's that roster. First of all, no surprises right there with the quarterbacks. You're going to see not Mike White, Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush. You've seen that. Also, you saw the 3 running backs, Alfred Morris. Jamel's is not a running back, he's a fullback. And then you see, obviously, Tony Pollard. Now, I said we were going to keep Morris. They end up keeping him. And I think the main reason why you're keeping Morris is because I feel like until that Ezekiel thing gets solved, and it may get solved this weekend. That's where the talks have been ratcheted up or ramped up. But I believe the reason why they kept Morris is because he is a veteran. They trust him more than the other guys that they had. And that could be another sign that Ezekiel Elliott is going to be back in the fold. But if he's not, I thought they were going to run with Pollard and Morris to begin with, because as I said before, I feel like they trust Morris more than anybody else because he's been with the program. He is a veteran. I feel like if you had a rookie starting in Tony Pollard and you had maybe like a backup like a Jordan Chun, who we all liked. A lot of people, we like Jordan Chun, but still, Cowboys still love those veterans, and they trust on veterans a little bit more, especially guys who've been with the roster. And Alfred Morris, quote unquote, didn't do bad with us. I just don't feel like teams are going to fear Alfred Morris, but I understand where they're coming from as far as that veteran being behind Pollard if Ezekiel Elliott is not there. We're going to see what happens when Ezekiel Elliott does get with the team, because he will eventually be with the team. So what happens with Alfred Morris after that point? But right now, I thought they would go with the Alfred Morris and Ezekiel Elliott. Alfred Morris and Tony Pollard. Now, if you're looking at receivers, I think that's the surprise from a lot of people. A lot of people thought Cedric Wilson. I thought Cedric Wilson and Devin Smith were going to make it because Noah Brown is going to start up on the PUP. And if you start out on the PUP, if you've been in the preseason PUP all preseason, and you go into the regular season, automatically you're ineligible for the first 6 weeks, I believe. So first 6 weeks, Noah Brown's not going to be playing. So that's a little bit of alarming that they didn't go with Wilson. I thought he was a guy that I know they like him because I know they got him over to that practice squad, or getting him over to that practice squad. So I know he's still there, but I thought he was going to make the active roster, and I didn't think they would only go 5 receivers. That was surprising. So obviously Cooper, you had Cobb, obviously Gallup, who's ascending, Tavon Austin, and Devin Smith, who stepped his game up out of nowhere. He was an afterthought at the beginning of the training camp. Nobody was even talking about him. So for what he did, that's great. I still would love to see Cedric Wilson and them possibly going 6, because you know what, injuries still happen. Cooper, they said he's good to go, but we haven't seen him at all in the preseason, and I'm just wondering about that foot. Hopefully that's going to be good to go with that as well. So we'll see. Yeah, for real. Noah Brown must got crazy 9 lives, but they love him. They in love with some Noah Brown like no other. Like he is their dude. And but when you think about it, I don't hate on Noah Brown. I always wonder why do they keep him. But when you see Noah Brown get in the game, it's not like you fall off with Noah Brown in there. Noah Brown does make plays when he's there. The problem is he's always got some knick-knack injuries or always got some bumps and bruises. Also, a lot of people are like, well, when we see Noah Brown, we had Scott Linehan in the game. Noah Brown would come in the game, and we see when he would go in motion, you would see, oh, well, we know this is going to be a run, but I believe Kellen Moore is not going to be doing that type of an offense this year. So I believe Noah Brown will be used in a better capacity than he was used under Linehan. So that is, to me, a saving grace, in my opinion, that I think Kellen Moore would find more ways to use Noah Brown besides being a blocker. But he's good in the special teams. He's a good pass catcher. He has good hands. Doesn't have great speed, but is a big body. You can flex him in different positions, and blocking is key with the Cowboys. Special team and blocking is very, very key with the Cowboys. As you see, they keep Dalton Schultz. But that's one of the reasons why Noah Brown seems to be having that great appeal. And once Jerry Jones and the Joneses like you ain't going nowhere. You get their stamp of approval, you're on the team. So that's kind of what that's going. Kind of looking at you guys, what you guys are saying right here. Yeah, I see what you're saying right there, Stevie Mack, because I know the things aren't really set. I know they have until noontime, which is going to be coming up, where they could possibly look at some possible still moves. I think that's the reason why when we're getting ready to hit this offensive line, you see they went 11 offense. Well, let's hit the tight ends. Tight ends, we know what that was. Jason Witten, Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz. Now, I told you I was frustrated with Lucas being gone, but you know, when you're a fourth-round pick and you've only been on the team 1 year, you're going to get that kind of grace period. They're going to give you that grace period, so I feel like that's what they're giving with Dalton Schultz. Plus, they like him because he can block. They liked him coming out the draft. So I feel like we just need a tight end that can stretch that field. Blake Jarwin does offer that, but he still doesn't have great speed. He's a good pass catcher, but he does lack in blocking. So obviously that's why you see Schultz on the team and Jason Witten. Hey, ho, hey, Ron Smith, there you are. And Ron Smith, don't you forget, that was my girl, Boo Thing, that sent the wrong package. She sent it to the wrong address. So, Ron, don't blame me. We're going to send it back out with the right address, and your shirt will be there. So, hey, ho, I love you, Ron Smith, $5 holla. You know what? Donation, donation, donation. Remember, you don't want to leave Ron by himself. He don't have to be by himself and just be feeling like he's just only by himself on donating. So you can donate $1, $5, $10, $2. It's okay. Got to keep this thing going. But we appreciate you, Ron Smith. We love you today. Hey, ho. So I had to just jump on that. Y'all like my please don't. It's not disrespect, but it's my Indian card. We got Indian in my family, so don't be saying I'm mad at doing something about the Indians. But hey, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's jump back. We was talking about tight ends. Y'all know what it is with the tight ends. You got a draft status, you're gonna stay on the team. So now let's talk about these offensive linemen, though. Okay, so this is what surprised me, but like I said, there still probably could be movement. We know about Tyron. He's going to be there. Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, La'el Collins. We know that. Connor Williams. We know that. Cam Fleming. We know that. What's his name? Joe Looney. Happy birthday to you, dog. We know that. Suafilo. I wonder if some things can happen with him because some things are being said. And then, obviously, Connor McGovern is going to go to IR. He has the pec issue. He's most likely going to go IR. He had a setback. They're probably going to do that because once you have a pec issue, that's kind of one of them things that don't go away. It kind of just, you can let it rest, but you can do one movement and rip that joker. So you probably seen him on the IR. Now, the surprising thing was Redmond and Brandon Knight. Now, I know they had high hopes for Brandon Knight when it came out in Indiana because he can play multiple positions, and he's like a road grader, and he's that guard position, and, they like that. And when you have Connor McGovern out, but Brandon Knight hasn't really shown anything because he's had some knickknacks injuries as well. Redmond is versatile. He can play center. He can play guard, and I think they love that versatility. They love versatility on the line where you can play multiple positions. I think what they're trying to see right now is anything going to be happening as far as out there as far as guys being on that waiver wire. Possibly if you got McGovern going to IR, that spot opens. You're going to have 10 guys instead of 11. And I think when a Robert Quinn comes back within 2 games, somebody's going to get cut as well. So that could be a possibility that they went long and cut one of those guys and put them to the practice squad. That's what my thinking may be. Or they still might do a deal here and there. I think we need to watch these next couple hours. And if y'all see anything that I don't, because obviously I'm going live, please let me know. But I think that's why we have that realm the way it is. I know they want to keep Brandon Knight, and I know they like Redmond. So this could be maybe some opportunities for maybe them to grab somebody. So I think that's why they went kind of along with that offensive line more than anything else. So I'm just kind of sorry, I just got me a message. Sorry about that. Um, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what's really going to happen with this offensive line? You know what I mean? But as I said before, Robert Quinn comes back in 2 weeks, and there's going to be another cut. So I think maybe one of those offensive linemen can get cut at that period of time and go to the practice squad then. So we're going to see how that happens as well. Let me see what y'all talking about. Hey, there you go. There you go. What's up, Raymond? How you doing, big dog? Good to see you again. So we're going to see, are you going to have reaction videos after the games this year? Heck yeah, we're going to have all that this year. We're going to have all that popping. We're going to be doing watch. We're going to be doing a lot of watch parties this year, just like we were doing last year. So it's going to be a good thing to see down the line. So I'm kind of just getting ready for that. So make sure you tune in for the season because it is going to be something that's really popping and really happening. You know I go hard on the watch parties and the reaction shows. We're going hard on all that. So just make sure you're tuning into that and that's going down. What's up with you, Job? How you doing? Make sure you say what's up. How's everybody doing? I appreciate the crowd we got in there. Kind of losing my thoughts because I'm just thinking about so many things right now. But like I said, I think something's still going to happen with this offensive line. Obviously, Connor McGovern is going to probably go to IR, and then we're waiting for what's going to happen with Zeke Elliott. Like I said, Robert Quinn will be back in a couple weeks, and I think that could possibly have one of those guys getting cut. So we're going to see how this offensive line thing goes because I don't think that's set by any means. All right, so we're talking about the offensive line. Now we're going to go with that defensive line. As you've seen, I think one of the surprises with that defensive line, a lot of people wanted to see Daniel Wise make the team. He was going nutso. He was going crazy in the training camp. Mini camp, he's just been kind of one of those guys that the Cowboys had their eyes on from day one. And for him not to get drafted and you see how he played was kind of surprising. But 2 big sacks in that 4th game. A lot of people thought he could slide onto that roster because people were worried about him getting claimed. We're going to see. I believe he's safe as of right now. We'll still check on that. But I think the biggest thing on that defensive line with people like, dang, Daniel Wise got cut. But when you look who they got in the fold, it's kind of we understand we got the defensive ends. We got Taco who said once Jerry says you're going to make it, you're going to be on the team. DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyrone Crawford, we talked about him. But I ain't tripping off Tyrone Crawford no more. I was talking about Tyrone Crawford and kind of tripping on it. Like, man, because I didn't want to lose Jalen Jokes. But obviously, Jalen Jokes got moved to IR, which is a beautiful thing because he's going to get saved on the team. That was the main person I did not want to lose. I didn't want to lose Daniel Wise, but more than Daniel Wise, I did not want to lose Jalen Jokes. But so for them moving him to the IR made me feel better, and I don't trip as much as Tyrone Crawford because I didn't want to keep a Crawford and that money and you losing a joke. So them moving him to IR saved me, made my heart feel better, made me feel better in my soul that is happening. So that's a good thing right there. So I love that. Jokes is safe. Daniel Wise, practice squad, we'll see. But obviously you got DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyrone Crawford, Hyder, who's been a beast this whole preseason. You're going to see him be able to flex different positions. Dorrance Armstrong Jr., who's looking like he's going to take a good second leap. Obviously, they're going to get Quinn when he comes back, and Taco, who's going to be in the fold as well. So we're going to see some good explosion, I believe, from this defensive line. I think that we're talking about the 53-man, that 46 game day roster is what's going to really be intriguing to see who's going to be active on game day roster. So it's going to be a lot of fighting going on with them that competition. And in practice, obviously they don't do a lot of hitting in practice any longer, but it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be on that 46 game day roster. Guys may be on the 53, but that's 7 more guys that's going to be inactive every game. So we'll see how that pans out and how that goes. So it's going to be a lot of activity going on that defensive line and movement. So it's going to be really interesting to see, but I am very excited about that defensive line. I'm really interested to see what DeMarcus Lawrence is going to look like. He hasn't practiced. Him and Crawford haven't practiced. As far as training camp and things of that nature, they just started getting in the fold. So interesting to see how those guys are going to look. Are they going to have any rust because they haven't did anything? DeMarcus Lawrence said, I don't need preseason, but you're still going to have rust, and you still were rehabbing from that injury. So I'm going to have a keen eye on both of those guys on the injury front. So we're going to see how that pans out. What up, my Cowboys family? How you doing? What's up with you? How you doing? Oh, here we go. So here we go. Dink and Dak. Here go that Eastside. Oh my gosh, you just kind of crazy with me with that Dak thing. Anyway, so we talked about the defensive linemen. Now, defensive tackles. We already kind of understood what that was going to be. Antoine Woods, Malik Collins, Tristan Hill, and Christian Covington. That was nasty. Covington has stepped his game up. They brought him from the Texans. He's been active. He's going to be a guy that's going to make some plays this year, y'all. We all love Woods, and we know Collins, if he stays injury-free this year, Collins is going to be a nasty. He's going to have an explosive year. Plus, it's his contract year. Plus, Woods is finishing out his 2-year deal, so they're going to be inspired. Also, Covington, I believe, is on a 1 or 2 year deal. I believe he's maybe on a 1 year deal, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to get all that good effort because these guys want second contracts. But Covington has really good size, and I think he's going to be a real good player. That was a great, great free agent pickup. When you're talking about the free agent pickups that the Cowboys got, when you look at besides Ioka, Cobb, Covington, Hyder, those guys have looked really, really good in the fold, and I'm really excited to see what they do, especially Covington. I think he can be a real wrecking ball in that middle. That was a great pick. I think he's going to do a lot of plays for us. Also, let's jump at these linebackers. I think that was a little bit of surprise here. Maybe, not really. We all knew about Jalen Smith, Van Der Esch, Sean Lee, Joe Thomas, Justin March. I had him on the team just because they like his experience. He's been active. He's been playing a lot. I think they do like him. He's got that kind of he got that good personality. He's good in the community, and they like that type of stuff. And I think that's what kept him on the roster as well. Luke Gifford, I don't think that was a surprise. I think maybe people were surprised because he really didn't, he only played 1 game, got hurt, and they still kept him. But if you saw anybody who saw Luke Gifford in training camp, and even in that preseason game, the dude's got great size, 6'3", 245 pounds, sideline to sideline guy. Looks like he could be a real player. Hopefully we can get to see him this year. He had the high ankle sprain. Usually those type of injuries are like one of those 4 to 6 week range on there. So, more than anything else, that's what I'm really excited to see Gifford get on that field, because I believe he can make some I don't know what kind of major impact, but I definitely believe he can make an impact. I told y'all I wanted to see Covington off the roster. They did cut him. I know a lot of people are upset about Phillips, but hopefully maybe Phillips can get called up, maybe if you have an injury. But definitely like Phillips being on that practice squad. I told you I wasn't really too fond of Covington. I really didn't think he was anything, and he got cut. I didn't think they were going to cut him because they kept on saying glowing reviews about him. So to see him get cut, not saying I advocate any player getting cut, but I just didn't see what was the point of keeping him. And you really want to see if Phillips be on that practice squad, you can develop him, and hopefully Gifford can get out there and get on that field more sooner than later. Yes, Gifford is number 57. Yes, Marvin Hargrove. I definitely said that's one of the things that I was talking about in our last show when we were talking about me and Skywalker still were talking about that defense. Remember that 07 defense with them Giants? They had that NASCAR defense. I believe the guys, we have that when we can just send a bunch of defensive ends on that third down and just pin their ears back and go after you. That's what gets you excited, because this has been a long time since we kind of had those kind of options. And to see those options now, when it was just maybe 2 years ago when it was the cupboard was bare, to see the draft that they were doing and see the shrewd moves that the Cowboys made has been awesome. It's been out of this world. So I'm really excited to see what that defense is going to do. Also, cornerback. I think there were some surprises there. because on the cornerback position, uh, it was either Michael Jackson or it was going to be Alumba. A lot of people felt Alumba did a lot to earn a right to play on the team, and he's had a really good preseason. The only problem with Alumba was the speed factor. Also, Michael Jackson, he was the 5th-round draft pick. So you thought, well, they're going to probably keep Jackson because he's the 5th-round draft pick. Alumba was undrafted. They put Alumba back on the practice squad. Jackson makes it. But they didn't. They put both of them. They cut both of them. But both of them are supposed to be going to the practice squad, so that's a good thing. But I thought at least one of those guys would be there. So you got Jordan Lewis, you got Anthony Brown, you got Cheeto, you got Byron Jones, who looked like he's going to be healthy, and that's a good thing. And then C.J. Goodwin, that was a surprise right there. Having just those guys, I thought they would go one more person, especially Alumba, since he at least had a year experience. So we're kind of going to see how that pans out on that cornerback position because I thought they were going to go a little heavier. And then obviously safety, they have Jeff Heath, Woods, Donovan Wilson, the rookie, who's basically stepped up like no other, and Kayvon Frazier and Darian Thompson. I believe they kept those two. One of those guys might be the cut later on after week 2 as well. But I know that Donovan Wilson's injury probably one of the reasons why they maybe kept Thompson. And then also Kayvon Frazier offers a lot within that special teams ability, and they love that special team. So I think Wilson having that injury kept Thompson and Frazier both on the roster. Obviously, we know about free agency, the specialty positions, JP, Maher, and Jones. I'd love to see if they could have got somebody for Maher to like some competition, but it is what it is, and I ain't going to trip off that. So let's slide down. Now I got a few other things I'm going to come through. I'm going to slide up. All right, so as y'all can see here, I'm scrolling up. I'm going right here. Look at that list right there. Do y'all like that list? I do like that list. Daniel Wise, Cedric Wilson, Mike Weber, who I told y'all who was going to be on that practice squad, Donovan Alumba, Michael Jackson, Jalen Guyton, who is my dark horse. Obviously, you've seen John V. Johnson went to IR, so with the shoulder injury, so they're definitely keeping him, so that's a good thing. So obviously, it kind of worked out the way the Cowboys wanted, if you really look at it, because number one, they liked John V. Johnson, but guess what? Drop balls. But guess what? You have a shoulder injury. We can IR you, so we get to keep you. That's a beautiful thing. Now you go to IR, you got a spot open for Jalen Guyton, so you don't lose your 2 young guys who you wanted. So that is a beautiful thing right now. So Cowboys fans should really be excited that, yeah, you lost to John V. Johnson toward injury, but you're still keeping him on the roster. Yes, Jalen Guyton did not make the 53, but you're keeping them on the practice squad. So that's players down the line. So that's a beautiful thing. Mitch Hyatt, I knew they were going to keep him in some capacity because Mitch Hyatt signed a lot of money as a free agent. And I don't believe they were going to cut him after they signed him to a lot of money. Plus, they want to see him develop because he's not really ready. But when you look at that list so far, that's a good practice squad list, man. That's a practice squad list where before, when you seen our practice squads years have passed, you'd be like, man, who is this dude? Man, who is that? He ain't making no. But now when you look at our practice squad, it looks like guys can actually contribute down the line. So that's something exciting. So, that's a lot I just got out off my breath and my chest. So let me get to some of y'all's questions and see what y'all talking about. Job, does Zeke sign today? Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I can't tell you that. You know, they said there was movement yesterday, but then I hear today that they're still ways apart. So I don't know who to believe, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. Unless you a person got that inside scoop on Zeke Elliott, 1 minute you hear one thing, he always gonna sign. Next day you hear, oh, they're far apart. Then you hear this. I honestly do not know. I love for him to sign so we can get this drama over with, so the Cowboys can focus on these Giants and not have another thing holding over their head, like as far as distraction. It seems like every year there's some kind of little bit of distraction with the Cowboys. So hopefully, I'm hoping that he signs today, but I'm not I got my fingers crossed, but I'm not sitting there thinking, yeah, it's going to happen today. I just don't have that kind of feeling anymore because this stuff is so back and forth. You never know. Like, there's been so many conflicting reports with the Zeke Elliott thing. It's so annoying and it's getting on my nerves. 1 minute you hear this, next minute you hear that. So I'm just saying, I'm just waiting until he gets signed. Right now, only thing I can focus on in my heart and the Cowboy shit too is these week 1 Giants and who's here. Right now, you got Jamel, you got Alfred Morris, and you got Tony Pollard, TP. So that's right now what we got to focus on and getting them guys ready. Zeke Elliott will be there. We just don't know when, but we got to focus on these guys and getting those guys ready because if he's not, those guys got to be ready to do their thing. So I can't really tell y'all how I feel, if I think he's going to get signed because, man, I don't know. They go back and forth with this in the media. It's just annoying. It's just too much in my head. Feel me? Yeah, you know he likes some distraction. That's what keeps the Cowboys people focusing on us. So we'll see. Yes, B Parker. And as I said before, I said this yesterday, as far as as far as Dak Prescott. I don't wish that Zeke is gone. Trust me when I say that the team is so much better with the Zeke Elliott. But as I said, if Zeke is not there, I mean, the team is going to go as far as Dak goes because, as I said before yesterday, Zeke Elliott can rush for 2,000 yards. I don't think we still have a successful season with a Zeke Elliott rushing for 2,000 yards. But you let Dak Prescott have an amazing season, then I feel good because that running game is only going to take you so far. It's a passing league now, and you got to be able to throw the ball. You've seen last year, I don't want to be a dead horse, but I think Zeke Elliott was leading the league in rushing when Dallas was 3-5, and we were looking dead in the water. The games that we started doing better when we got a bona fide receiver and that passing game took off. So at the end of the day, Dak's got to be able to make these plays, whether Zeke Elliott is there or not. And if Dak Prescott can make those plays without a Zeke Elliott, it makes this team so much more deadly. You know what they're going to be with a Zeke Elliott, but if Dak Prescott is playing on fire and playing his game, like I said, I just think this team is unstoppable. I really feel like the quarterback position is the one that we have to solidify all the way. I believe Dak is still trending up, but I believe this year is where he can really just solidify his spot as the guy. People still have their little doubts here and there, but he can really solidify himself as the guy. Especially with his contract pending, he can really get paid the way he wants. It's all in Dak's hands and how he can approach this. If he plays and lights out, our team's going to play good. He's going to get paid, and I think we go far in the playoffs with a possible Super Bowl. Definitely in the possibility because I think talent-wise, Dallas can match up with anybody, and there's no excuses. And even though you had the injury with Connor McGovern as far as the pec injury, there hasn't been any major injuries in training camp, and that's a beautiful thing. And if you can have that all the way through the season, just maybe some knickknacks and some bumps and bruises, but nothing major, we look good going down the stretch. And I think we're going to have a high possibility to smacking some teams this year. And 12-4 is I'm staying with. No excuses. You know that. Let me see what y'all saying. Lawrence last minute, Dez Bryant. I feel you, Antonio. What's up? And what's up with you, Antonio? I'm glad you jumped in here. I appreciate you. So I'm going to go down the line a little bit more. Let me switch over here right quick. Then I'm going to scroll through some more stuff right here. So my thing is this. As we get ready for the Week 1 Giants, and like I said, this schedule, Week 1 Giants, I haven't really studied the Giants. I'm going to keep it all the way funky. I haven't really studied the Giants. I'm going to do more of that today and probably during the week. But Eli Manning, Daniel Jones. Okay, they got Saquon Barkley. Receiving core, not that good. Offensive line, okay. Defensive line, lost a lot of great people. Lost a lot of good defensive linemen. I'm sorry. I'm not scared of the Giants. That ain't going to be no Week 1 upset to me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say y'all not Week 1 upsetting them Cowboys. But Cowboys need to go in there focused because I definitely feel like even though we're going to beat them up, Saquon Barkley could give us some problems. So Dallas defense got to go in there and clamp hard. Dak Prescott, just go in there and do your thing, dog. I mean, I really don't feel like the Giants are going to be a problem for us. You know, they've been a thorn in our sides for so many years. As far as, especially with them Week 1 games, they've always given us a problem. But I feel like this should be an easy type game. We're not all the way healthy, but we're getting healthier. But this is a game that the Cowboys should go in there and bust their heads. When you see the first 5 games of the season, I always do the season in fives. You got, like I said, you got the Giants, you got the Redskins, you got the Dolphins, who you better be careful because Fitzpatrick, I don't think the Miami Dolphins are great, but Fitzpatrick, he just plays crazy, and he just one of them times he could throw for 300-400 yards. He's just that dude. So you better keep your eyes on them. And then you got the I believe it's the Saints first or the Packers, one of the two, Saints and Packers. So when you're looking at those first 5 games, them games are critical. The Cowboys cannot get off to a slow start. That is a fact. They cannot get off to a slow start, especially with 4 of 5 NFC games, 2 in the NFC East. So you really want to get off to a fast start. So guys got to be ready, and I think the Cowboys will. Jason Garrett, coaching staff, you got to be on point with what we're trying to do here because this is a no-excuse year. This is a season where it looks like everything, even with Ezekiel Elliott being out the fold, Dallas is still a very talented team, even without Ezekiel Elliott. You get Ezekiel Elliott there, you're like, what? This really could be a Super Bowl team. I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm not trying to believe the hype or trying to hype the team up, but just look at it across the board, and you look at the other teams. There's no reason why the Cowboys can't go to the Super Bowl this year. There's no reason why. Are you understand that, folks? There's no reason why the Cowboys cannot go to the Super Bowl this year. I mean, there's no daggone excuses, man. I mean, Dallas got everything from top to bottom. I mean, really, seriously. So there's no excuses this year, man. So Garrett, coaching staff, get these guys on point. Kellen Moore is going to be interesting, but I feel like Kellen Moore is going to be okay. I like Kellen Moore. The more I've watched in preseason, the more I watched in training camp, the kid, I already kind of liked him beginning as a coordinator, but he just really grew on me just watching him, his interaction with the players. The players really like Kellen Moore. They really do, and they really are buying into him, and I feel like it's a really good vibe. It was a great addition. So as much as we hated Scott Linehan, we can, I believe, give him a little bit of props, especially if Kellen Moore pans out, is that at least he handpicked him. I would give you Scott Linehan that. You handpicked this guy, so at least you saw something in him, and that's a good thing. And so thank you, Scott Linehan, for that, especially if Kellen Moore pans out, which I think he will. And it's just right now, like I said, it's time to do it. It's no more talking. The season is here. Pretty much the roster said there might be a few moves here and there, but I don't think anything is going to be major. But the excitement for me is healthy. The football gods. I told y'all a couple months ago, pray to them football gods. Pray to the football gods that Dallas has a good injury-free training camp. And I think the football gods heard us. We understand about Connor McGovern, but he was a rookie. We didn't really see. We didn't really know what he was going to do this year. So they still covered themselves. So I think they're going to be okay. I'm going to take some of your questions right now because I'm going to head off here. I'm not going to be too long. I still might do a show tonight with Cowboys blog. It's really dependent on how he is going on with it more than anything else. But we're going to see what that happens. But shoot me some questions. I try to answer as much as I can so we can stay interjected more than anything else. See what y'all saying. Yeah, like I said, injuries are the only thing that really is going to stop us from doing what we need to do. Yeah, I know. We seen Larry Tunsil. He got traded. We saw those. They're looking to get them a top quarterback. It looks like that's what they're heading towards. But as I said before, don't be sleeping on no Fitzpatrick, dog. Like don't sleep on him. And even the Redskins game, I'm not scared of no Casey Keenum or anything like that. But I think that defense is going to give us a problem. I believe that defense with the Redskins, they're going to be good. The defense with the Redskins is going to be good, especially with that front line. So that's going to be a good test, especially if Ezekiel Elliott's not there. I do think he will be there. But especially if Ezekiel's not there, that's going to be a good test on our offense against their defense. I think our defense will pretty much shut them down. Not worried about Haskins right now or anything, or definitely not Casey Keenum. So I definitely those are two winnable games, but they are division games. So division games, they're going to be up to play the Cowboys. Every team that plays Dallas, they get up to play us. So we don't get their worst game, it seems. We get their best games. The Cowboys always get the team's best games. Like the Dolphins, they'll probably be terrible the whole year, but they'll play lights out against us just because everybody gets amped up and hyped up to beat the Dallas Cowboys, because everybody wants to beat Dallas, because a lot of people just hate us and they want to see us lose and they don't want to see us succeed, so they want to see us fail. But at the end of the day, these are going to be some good tests, especially when those Saints and Packers come around. We got to beat them damn Packers. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of losing to some Aaron Rodgers, especially when we should have beat them the last 2 times we met them. Don't want to lose them anymore. That Saints game is going to be tough because we beat them last year, and I just feel like they're going to be on 10. Saints don't like us. It's like the neighborhood brawl because Saints are so close and they hate Dallas. New Orleans Saints hates the Cowboys, so I think that's going to be a real test as well. So these first 5 games are going to be a good test to see where the Cowboys are as far as offensively and defensively. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But once again, I now listen to me right here. I think if you listen to our show, I said that we would start 3 out 3 and 2. I think we would beat. I thought we would beat the Redskins and the Giants. Forgive me, folks. I know y'all be like, what? But I said we would catch 2 L's against the Saints and the Packers. Saints and the Dolphins. May not happen, but I just feel like that could be that trap game. And then we come back and beat the Packers, and then we end up 3 and 2, and then we go on that run. We win like 6 or 7 in a row. I feel like we're going to go on that run again. We might have one of them 2 close games, be like, oh, what's going on with the Cowboys? And then we go on that run again. That's just my prediction of what will happen. I think we're going to go on another one of those 5, 6, 7 game win streaks again this year. And I think for us that to happen, I think we lose a couple ones that we shouldn't have lost, and then Dallas goes on a run. That's what seems to happen. If you look at 2014, Cowboys started off slow, went on that big win streak. 2016, lost the first game against the Giants, big win streak. Last year, 3 and 5, get Amari Cooper, go on a big win streak. So Cowboys are known to go on 5, 6, 7, 8 game runs, and I think it's going to happen this year as well. We might have a couple games where like, oh man, what's going on, and then we go on that run. So don't be worried if you see it happen. I definitely feel it may happen, but the Cowboys are still going to be okay. Yeah, I seen the Saints got Kiko Alonso. He's all right. He ain't nobody I'm scared of. Muggs Maxwell, what's going on? Big game, James. What's your prediction on Heath will be replaced by Wilson? Yeah, Heath got to start that first game now. I got to get my $100 now. Y'all know that. I want Donovan Wilson to start, but Heath, I need that first game starting so I can get my 100. Now, Donovan Wilson, if he keeps playing like he has, why wouldn't he? Because, number one, he was a good tackler. He was a good thumper. That was his biggest thing that when he was in college at Texas A&M was how he comes down to the line of scrimmage and brings the pain. People were wondering that he going to be just a strictly box safety because that's what his repertoire was saying. Now you're seeing that he has that range, so that gets you excited because, number one, he had 5 interceptions, I believe, his sophomore year, so it doesn't say that he can't do it, but it just like when he was in his coverages, his feet were kind of choppy. But it looks like from the time he's been at minicamp to training camp now, he's improved. He's even said he's improved, and it's looked like it. So I could definitely see him taking over Heath's spot by midseason. I'm saying midseason is if Wilson continues to trend up and he continues to get them reps, I think midseason is where you can see a Wilson taking over a Jeff Heath. Once again, Heath is better off the bench. No knock on Heath. I don't hate you, Jeff Heath. I really don't hate you. But I like you better when you come off the bench because you make more splash plays when you come off the bench. When you're there and you have to play all game, it seems like that's when you see the warts come out in your game. The missed tackles or maybe a lapse in coverage, things of that nature. Whereas if you don't play the whole game, we'll get the best of Jeff Heath, and that's what I would like to see eventually, especially this year if Donovan Wilson can step up. Remember, he is a rookie, folks, so that's a lot to put on him, especially with coverage. So I think they're going to still keep Heath because they're going to be safe with it until they feel fully confident that Wilson can take over that spot. Yeah, that Saints game is tough, man. First game, $100. Yeah, Eastside Herald. Hey, I love that you in here all the time. I appreciate you. That's all I'm gonna tell you about you. I appreciate you. Yeah. Now, as far as turnovers go, I don't really feel like Cheeto is going to be a guy that gets a lot of turnovers, and I still don't think Byron Jones is going to be that guy that gets a lot of turnovers. Our playmakers might be Donovan Wilson. He's got 3 interceptions in 3 preseason games, so that's a good omen. Also, I said Xavier Woods gets 5 interceptions this year. I'm sticking by that. Jordan Lewis, if he plays a lot, I think he gets 2 to 3 interceptions this year as well. So just by my prediction, that's 7. We already had 8 turnovers in the preseason. So that is something I don't think happens by chance. I think you already see if you see it in preseason as far as turnovers, I believe it'll carry over to the regular season. But I think our playmakers will be right there. Donovan Wilson, Xavier Woods, and Jordan Lewis. Anthony Brown might get a pick here and there. Because, I think he is opportunistic, but I just think Cheeto and Byron Jones are more the lockdown corner types. I think they're the guys that are going to be sticky in coverage but won't get a lot of INTs, where you see those other guys will get more turnovers, and I think that's where you're going to see it, and I think you are going to see it this year. I also want to see our defense getting 50 sacks this year. 50 sacks is the number that I want to see the Cowboys get as far as sacks. We definitely can get it. We know D-Law. I said 12.5 sacks for D-Law this year. Had 14.5 first, a couple years ago. 10.5, I believe, last year. I'm saying 12.5 sacks this year. Robert Quinn can get about 8 sacks this year. I think it's going to be. I think Dorrance Armstrong could be a guy could give you about 4 or 5 sacks. Just coming off the bench and being that third down rusher. Tyrone Crawford, he had 4.5. I think he can. Malik Collins. I definitely feel like this team can get 50 sacks this year, and it needs to, because this defense as well. The offense is going to have a new coordinator, new pieces, so this defense is really going to have to lock down, and I think this defense is ready to take another step like it took last year. We've seen the defense building. We've seen what they've been doing in the building with that defense, and now you have that defensive line that has so many parts that you can rotate, so many people. That's a beautiful thing, and guys, like I said, are not on long-term deals. That's another good thing as far as you getting full effort, because guys want these contracts. These guys don't have 4 or 5 year deals, especially on that front line. So they're playing for the next contract as well, not just playing for the team. So when you're playing for your next contract, you're going to get your best from them. And that's what I love. And I think that's why this year is so critical, because you have so many guys that are on expiring deals, especially on the defense. You're going to get the best. So we got to take the opportunity that stands in front of us right now. Relatively injury-free in training camp. You're getting your dog back, Zeke Elliott, eventually. You have everything set. The schedule is a little bit daunting, but definitely winnable. Games definitely you can win and go through the schedule being battle-tested. And when you get to that playoffs being battle-tested with this type of schedule, the sky should be the limit, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but y'all should be really excited about this team. I remember 2014, I was really excited about the team. I was a little frustrated when we started out the way we did, but then we went on that run. I said, man, this could be a Super Bowl year. We didn't have a Super Bowl defense, but that offense was so nasty. And you thought, man, even though you don't have the defense, if they can make some plays, bend don't break, we can make a run. We saw how good we looked, and then we got taken away with that bogus-ass no catch with Dez Bryant. 2016, you thought, man, we could do this. We had that run. We was looking like steamrolling. I was worried about them Packers because they had that opportunity and they had to beat us. But even then, we still had them. Who knows if we could have beat them Packers, what could have happened? This is a year we don't want to say that, man. This is a year that you don't want to lose your opportunity, especially with the young talent that you have, the blended veterans that you have. It's all set up for us to do this, and the Cowboys have to. There can't be no more excuses, because Garrett's job is on the line. If he doesn't win it, everything could just start over, man, and we don't want that. Everything could just be a whole influx of coach, players, things of that nature. So you got to do it, and you got to do it now. And there ain't no excuses, and there ain't no reason why you shouldn't be able to go to the playoffs, have back-to-back NFC East titles, go through the playoffs, win and win big, and get to this Super Bowl. There's no reason. There's no reason at all. So That being said, don't put that scrub. Alfred, Alfred Morris. Like I said, I wasn't excited, but I know they're going to keep Alfred Morris more than anybody else because they love them veterans, and he's been with the program, and they feel more comfortable with guys that have been with the program. So we're going to see what that happens with that. So, hey, you like my victory speech. We're going to have a whole bunch of them this year. Just make sure before I get off here, because I wasn't going to talk long today. This is just basically talking about the lineup. Basically, he's talking about what we saw, what we were excited about. I'm just, like I said, I'm excited about the team this year. We got – I love our practice squad. I wonder what's going to happen as far as a few additions here and there. But as a whole, I'm very excited about the team. I don't know about y'all. I keep going back to it. I'm very excited about this team because I believe Dak Prescott's going to take the next step. I feel the court. Yes, Eastside Herald, if you're listening to this, Dak Prescott's going to take the next step. So make sure, Eastside Herald, when you're in here, dog, since you've been in here talking all this trash about Dink and Dunk, make sure you in here when he balling out, okay? Because I don't like when people be talking trash about players, but then when the regular season come, we can't find y'all. You get what I'm saying? We can't find y'all when the regular season happen and we balling out and doing this and doing Dak's balling out. Then I can't find them people. I be trying to find y'all. I be trying to go on Facebook. I try to go on YouTube. I be trying to find out what's going on, but I don't see it. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right here. Make sure that if you're talking this trash, you end this feed when he's balling out, because I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to take that next step. I believe, once again, that John Kitna hire was a beautiful thing. Having Kellen Moore in the fold, going to offensive coordinator, beautiful thing. You surrounded him with even more weapons. You're continuing to build the offensive line. I just feel like you got the pieces in place to make this run, and it has to happen now. It can't be next year. It can't be 2020, 21. We know all that, but that we're talking about this year. It got to happen this year because it can happen this year. Last year it could have happened. You get what I'm saying? Even with Travis Frederick being gone, still made the playoffs. You had your dog center, still made the playoffs. You get what I'm saying? And now you add even more additions that you had from last year, especially on that defensive wise. Joe Thomas stays healthy. Remember, we didn't have Joe Thomas last year. He was hurt all last year. Now you got a healthy Joe Thomas. He stays healthy. That feels even better. Now you don't have to sit there and keep on worrying about Sean Lee. You know what I mean? I just really like what the Cowboys are looking like right now, and there's just no excuses. So, I mean, that's what I'm pretty much going to end it with. No excuses, y'all. Right, Boo Thing? No excuses. I mean, really, it's just no excuses. And if we're not really doing it this year, got to be some change, because it can't be, oh well, we was close again. Can't be that no more. It's got to be, it's time to get this 6. It's got to be hoisting up that trophy. That's what it's got to be this year. Hoisting up that trophy, and it can happen. It can happen. It's happened to these other teams that come out of nowhere and win these Super Bowls. Why can't it happen to us? You know what I'm saying? It needs to happen now. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see. Oh, and let me tell you something. If Randy Gregory is back, if Randy Gregory is actually coming back this year, if Randy Gregory gets reinstated sometime during this year, oh my God, y'all in trouble. That's all I can tell you. You're in super trouble if Randy Gregory is able to come back, because that's just an added beautiful luxury. Like, I'm not even thinking about Randy Gregory because of the situation that's going on. But if he is eligible to come back, and he is eligible, let's say if Randy Gregory comes back like week 7 or week 8, that would, oh my God. Woo! Buddy, I'm ready to do it. But with that being said, I'm not going to hold y'all. Thank you for the crowd we had today. Thank you for everybody who was tuning in today. I really appreciate y'all. Might be going back on tonight with Cowboys blog on the channel again tonight. So make sure you check that out. I'll leave a post on Silver and Blue Nation on my Big Game James page on Facebook. So make sure you tune into that and see what's going on there. Also, Tuesday, The Cowboys Experience will be going live on there in the morning or afternoon, I believe, about 1 in the afternoon. Myself and Law Nation will be on there Tuesday. Cowboys Experience, talking our pregame thoughts about the Giants. And me and him will both, touch each other's brains about the cuts and players that are on the team. So you're definitely going to feel like you're going to like that. So tune into that. Also, subscribe, like, donate. We got our Instagram. We got our Twitter. Ryan Humphrey's really been killing our Twitter page, and we'd like to have a lot more interjection on our Twitter page. So please go on our Silver and Blue Nation Twitter. He posts a lot of good questions, a lot of good thoughts in his head about the Cowboys. So please interject on our Twitter. It's going to be really good. Also, continue to watch our YouTube page, our Facebook. We're going to get that popping and rolling. My guy, Skywalker Steel, we're going to be doing a show during the week called Old School, New School. So make sure you tune on that. Young Skywalker is an up-and-coming beast. I was happy I was able to meet him a couple years ago. We finally linked up. We've done a couple shows already, and he's a monster. We're going to probably be doing a show this week as well, just talking about the heads up before the Week 1 Giants game. So Old School, New School, Skywalker Steel, Big Game James, that's going to be popping. Of course, producer G and myself are going to be hitting that Sunday game. We'll be doing the watch parties as well, so we're getting that sold up. Also, be looking out for our theme song, Silver and Blue Nation theme song. That's going to be produced by my son, Kid Columbus, Kidd, capital 2 Ds, Columbus. That's going to be something that's going to be dropping this week, and you're going to really love it. My son's got a lot of talent, and, man, that song is fire. So you're going to really love that as well. Games. We'll be at games this year. So if you're in the Texas area, I'm in Columbus, Ohio currently right now. We are going to be moving back home to Texas here soon. But please get to those games. I will be there. I don't know if I'm going to be at every home game. Well, I won't be at every home game, but I will try to be at a lot of those. So when I get there and you guys are there, please, let's kick it. Let's have some drinks. Let's take some pictures, all that good stuff. So make sure that's happening. And just continue to support our Silver and Blue Nation page on Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all those platforms. Got some good interviews coming up with some more former players, some current players that are going to be on the Cowboys Experience, possibly getting some Michael Gallup, some guys that have been in the works that we've been talking about with Barry for about the last 3 or 4 months. So we're going to be having some good interviews coming down the line, and you're really going to like it. I just talked to a few former players that play with the boys, and I'm trying to get these interviews lined up. So get ready for some more good interviews with some current players and past players, so you can get their eyes and their thoughts. And I really want to get some of these past players that I have interviewed and some new guys and get their perspective, like after a game. What they see, because they were actually there and they actually did it and actually play for the boys. So we got a lot of good things coming up, a lot of good things that you're going to like, but we can't continue to grow unless you like and support and subscribe and donate. Donation, because this road only rocks if you guys make it work. So I appreciate everybody who's tuned in for Silver and Blue Nation. Big Game James. And we'll talk to you soon, right? All right. So I love y'all. Salute to everybody that was in the chat box today. If I didn't give you a shout out, I definitely do apologize. But I definitely appreciate everybody that was in and tuned in. And I'll possibly be going on tonight, but make sure you tune in to next week because it's going down. We're going to have a lot of good shows, probably about at least 3 good shows that are going down next week. So you're really going to like the Cowboys talk that we have going on. So that being said, Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, producer G Voltron, we'll talk to you, and I'm out. Peace.